I know you want to confront him, tell him directly what needs to be said, tell your side of the story, have him tell you his side of the story, and see how this is not okay. But he's being childish, he's not being forthright, he's not being an adult about the situation. So I would just have you write it out. And I know you're scared.
Hello and welcome to Kitchen Table Advice. My name is Paula and I am the host of this podcast. This podcast is a place where you can ask for any advice you want. It can be relationship, both platonic or romantic, career advice, or life advice. I wanted to create a space where people could ask questions without fear of rejection. I can't guarantee it'll be good advice, but I can guarantee there'll be no shame on my end. Your name will be anonymous and your identity will always be kept a secret. This is not professional advice, and I am not a licensed therapist or psychologist, and you are under no obligation to take this advice. Just think of this as advice you would get from a close friend on a kitchen table. So, let's begin.
Hello, listeners. We are back. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably wondering why I'm wearing the exact same outfit as I was in last week's episode. It's because it's the same day. All right? So now with that brief introduction, we're just going to dive into the first story of the episode. This one caught my eye, and I've actually already read it. And I really feel bad for not showing you guys my full emotions. This camera is pissing me off. Anyways, we're just going to dive in. The title is I Am Smitten, and I feel arrested and overwhelmed. How can I cope with this? All right, let's dive in. I'm a 31-year-old man, and I wanted to ask, how do you deal with it when you're absolutely smitten with someone to the point of them being in your dreams, feeling their touch on your skin, and smiling with affection? Yet you barely know them, and chances of ever meeting them are next to 0.01%. I'm guessing this is probably like a celebrity or someone on Instagram or a social media person, because like 0.01%, maybe. I am not one for flings or one-night stands or any of that. I believe that true love exists because I felt it when I was really young, and once you know it, you can't settle for less. I agree. It's something you can't force and something you can't recreate. It happens by chance, and when it does, it's undeniable. I have fallen in love in my heart. Yeah, I am a sensitive man, and a touch mad with it. Ooh. I am extremely careful when it comes to love because it floods every part of me. I'm always extremely guarded because of this. It's next to impossible to tear down the walls I've built over the years from how intense it gets to me. I find falling in love unpleasant even. And due to this, I've been single for 9 years, focusing on my career and personal growth. I haven't gone out to pick up women since I was 23, when I was still just a boy who didn't know any better. Because of this, the knowledge that I might never meet this person slightly ruins me, especially after these feelings occupied my dreams last night and not for the first time. I spent time with her, I held her, I witnessed her joy and the most beautiful smile, her soft-spoken voice and all. This is real because it's not sexual attraction. I find this person's personality irresistible. I don't dream of her in a lustful way. I am in love with her and I respect her. I can't say much more than she's a public speaker. I guess she's around 27, and I don't know her personally, only publicly. She's also from the other side of the world. I am embarrassed for feeling this way. It's ridiculous and unexplainable, yet it has happened. Realistically, parentheses from experience, and also logically, the chances of getting to know her are extremely slim, like Frodo taking the ring to Mordor, slim. I apologize for Lord of the Rings fans. I think I said the names right, but I do apologize. It seems like a great trilogy or series or whatever it is. I've never watched it. Sorry. It's too long. Not particularly good at dealing with these kind of intense feelings. They flip my reality in a not so good way. I need some advice if anyone has any, and preferably from the perspective of the opposite sex. This isn't something I think many other men will be able to help me with. I am the most sensitive guy I know, probably because all men hide this part of themselves. I completely agree with him. I think a lot of men do hide this. I don't want to deny my feelings. I'm okay with feeling this way. In fact, it might be good because I would still like to get married one day. I want to be prepared to deal with these feelings when they do happen. Please give me your individual perspective if you have any advice. I know there's no one way of dealing with it, so I need to hear from others who are familiar with this type of situation. Wow. This might be one of the most intense stories I've ever written. I can really feel his energy, and he is in love. Love, love. This is intense, and he's so eloquent. Anyways, we'll be back with our advice after this break. We are back. We are back. And wow. Yeah. So from this, it's so the energy is still there. That break was not enough. The energy is still there. This is an amazing feeling. I can only imagine what he's going through because I can feel his energy. This is intense. You might actually meet her. Who knows? Because this is really intense. I don't know. People have met in stranger ways. But what's my advice? Oh my gosh, I'm smiling now. This is stupid. Anyways, what is the advice? I mean, slide in her DMs. What else is there to say? I know. So, he mentioned the girl is there's a 0.01% chance of them meeting, which I'm guessing she's in the public eye. So, she might be a celebrity. She might be a social media personality. She might be an Instagrammer, a TikToker, basically anything in the public eye. I don't know who this woman is, but I think she would be flattered by your intense emotions. I mean, if she's taken, whoops. But yeah, what is there to lose? It's like, this is an intense feeling. I don't know. Send a message. I don't even know how you would send this type of message though, because like you are completely enamored with her. Wow. And she doesn't know you. So it's like if you come on too strong, it might make her want to back up again. It's like, I don't know you, dude. Calm down. But send a message. Compliment her on her work, whatever it is. If it's her pictures, or if she's on Instagram, like her pictures or her point of view online, or if she's the celebrity, her work, or just compliment her on her work. And she may or may not reply to you. That's okay. But it's just like, this is an intense emotion, and I always tell you guys, do what you love. So it's like, this is a lot. And she's on the other side of the world, and you are wherever you are, and you are like, this is impossible. This is a mission. I'm excited. Why am I excited? I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, send her messages. And if she says back up, back up. Like, I don't know. Like, honestly, express yourself. I think a lot of men tend to be a little bit guarded with expressing intense emotions because, upbringing, society sucks. We know this. And they don't really know how to navigate this world because it's like, I'm feeling all this stuff. But if I say this, I'm going to come up as a simp. Apparently, liking a woman is called being a simp. This is stupid. Society is dumb. It's dumb. It's restrictive. If you follow their rules, you will never be happy. Which is why I tell you guys, do what you like. Anyways, my advice, and I don't know, what is the advice for this man, ladies? If you're listening to this, please leave us your comments. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. I want to know because, like, I too am feeling intense emotions just from reading this, and I can only imagine that his emotions are even more high end because he's the one feeling it, right? And I'm just getting pieces just from reading what he's typed. This is amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, I say try to be casual about it. Try to approach her. Okay, she's a public figure, so she's online. You can definitely reach out to her. I don't think your chances are actually 0.01%. Maybe 1%, but not 0.01%, okay? It's like you have 1%. So just try to reach out, try to DM, send her an email, just appreciating her work first. And then most people just be like, yeah, thank you. And then just gradually establish that relationship. Go for a conversation or whatever she does, appreciate it because people online, public figures, celebrity, all these stuff, they do see. They may not check every single one of their messages, but when you do send a message over and over and over again, it will grab their attention, just like anyone else in the world. And like I said, just appreciate her work, appreciate what she does, compliment that aspect of her, compliment the aspect that has smitten you or captivated your heart. But don't express your eternal devotion. Please don't do that. That coming up too strong can be a bit repulsive, just a little bit. So I know you're feeling intense, but like don't project all that intensity. Just compliment what she's doing, compliment her perspective on this topic, or compliment how she took this picture. I don't know, okay? Compliment her works, just send her word of affirmation, send her encouragements, and just start there. And you can even, what am I going to say? Am I going to say this? Yes, I will.
Hi, I kind of just wanted to add this here because after listening to the whole thing without getting caught up in the words, basically, because when I was reading that, I felt like such intense emotion just from reading it. So I gave my advice based on someone who is like the person described himself, someone who's respectful. But not to say that having parasocial relationship is not a good thing, but it's just like I wasn't really thinking of that aspect until I listened to it, and I was like, this could be a parasocial type relationship. So I'm gonna count the advice I was gonna give here and just say that if you happen to be in a similar situation or you feel these deep emotions or feelings via someone you meet online or have a parasocial relationship, just remember that that person is still a person. Don't idolize them to the point where you think they can do no wrong. Unfortunately, people are made of both good and bad, and I'm pretty sure you guys know this by now, but it's just like people tend to just focus on what they see online, and we don't really pay attention to the whole aspect of the person. So that's why I wanted to add this little tidbit. But yeah, if this is a parasocial relationship, just air with caution. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, other than that, we're just gonna go back. All right, that's it.
So we're going to dive into the second story of the episode. And the title of the second story is How to Confront Someone Who Refuses to Own Up to What They've Done. A 20-year-old woman currently being bullied by my 21-year-old male friend. We go to the same college and we were best friends, but the way he treats me and demeans me in front of even people we don't know is absolutely appalling. He will openly make fun of my income status, my interests, and anything. I've decided enough is enough. I didn't just want to send him a text. He's a petty and cruel person who I know would just show it to everyone and laugh at me. He has some people he doesn't like and talks about them like he's an absolutely miserable person, saying he wanted to ruin their lives, even going as far as wanting to go to the same grad school as one of them to make their life a living hell. This is why relu- reluctantly go against him. He has a lot of connections, and I'm scared that if I would, I'll also be giving up any chance of getting friends at my college and around 1,500 people. But I can't take it anymore. After he ruined my vacation and made me cry in front of my new friends, I've had enough. I decided to confront him in person to go over everything. It's been around 2 days since I first saw him. I was upset with him. Once once since I asked if we could talk, he hasn't responded, but is active on all other forms of social media. I know he sees my texts and is just not responding, but I don't know how to get to him. I don't just want to wait it out. I want to speak to him soon. How can I get him to man up and confront me? Wow. We'll be back with our advice after this break. We are back. We are back. Um, hmm. Well, I mean, how the heck were you guys even best friends? I would like to know that. Just like, how did that happen? Anyways, I'm being nosy. But on to the question. If he doesn't want to speak to him, write him a text. That's what my advice is. Spare yourself the hassle. I know you want to confront him. Tell him directly what needs to be said. Tell your side of the story. Have him tell you his side of the story, and see how this is not okay. But he's being childish. He's not being forthright. He's not being an adult about the situation. So I would just have you write it out. And I know you're scared that other people are gonna laugh about this, but honestly, if anyone laughs about it, then they're just childish. This is how you feel. This is how he's treated you. Write out why you felt this way, the instances where you felt it was inappropriate, where he's crossed the line, where you don't think it's okay for him to do this. Call him out. And if he doesn't want to talk, if he doesn't want to man up and confront you, then write it. Send a text or write it on a piece of paper, whatever you need to do. Just do it, send it to him. And if he's going to make fun of you for that, then obviously just call him out of your life and move on. It's just like this is obviously draining on you. This is probably stressing you out. This is hindering other potential friendships. As you've said, he's making fun of you in front of new friends. Like, what the heck is wrong with him? Anyways, so just call him out and tell him that you don't want to be friends with someone who acts this way. It just is what it is. You want to be an adult about the situation, and also write about the fact that he's not being forthright and he hasn't come to you, man to woman, and made you resort to the fact that you basically have to write this ridiculous thing because he doesn't want to have a heart-to-heart conversation with you. So also put that in your letter and basically just write every single thing he's done, write how he's made you feel, and since you've already said that he probably will show this to some other people, do take that into account when you are writing these stuff. Like, don't be completely vulnerable, because he's already shown himself to not care about your relationship and not care about the friendship, and basically blatantly disrespect who you are as a person. So I wouldn't say be completely vulnerable in your letter, since he's deciding to not man up, but emphasize the fact that you have to resort to writing a letter because he doesn't want to man up, and also write your grievances and examples and stuff he has done that you're not okay with, you're not comfortable with having this person in your life in this way, and you think it's absolutely disgusting and appalling for him to act like this. But I wouldn't say be completely open and vulnerable, because he's already shown himself to not care about you, and you don't want to expose yourself in such a way. Like, basically, write this letter knowing he's going to show it to other people, and make it known that you have written the letter because he doesn't want to man up. He has made you resort to you sending a text or you writing a letter because he's not man enough to confront you man to woman. So make that clear and write your grievances. And basically, I will actually tell you to not be completely vulnerable when writing this man because he doesn't seem like he cares. But I do think it's right for you to call out his behavior, call out the fact he's acting like a child, call out the fact that he's entitled, and call out the fact that he can't treat people this way. It's not okay for him to treat people this way. Everyone is worthy of respect. Everyone is worthy of being heard and not be belittled. And he's just being an a-hole. But yeah, that is it. That is my advice. If you are in a similar situation, that is how I would tell you to approach this thing. Usually I would tell you guys to be more open-minded, but this person doesn't seem like a good person to be around. He's already shown that he doesn't care about her. He disrespects her at every turn. He makes her the butt of the joke, and it's not funny, right? So I think she needs to be direct, and if she needs to be a little bit harsh to get her message across, then so be it. It's like she's calling him to have a conversation, but he doesn't want to come to the table because he's being a whiny little boy. So, yeah. Write your letter like that. Don't be completely vulnerable because he has shown that he's just going to show it to the whole world. So, basically, write to him, but write it as an open letter. Yeah. That's how I would do this. And if you're in a similar situation, I would tell you to do the same thing. And after you write the letter, after you send the text, cut them out of your life. Just cut them out of your life. It's okay, maybe not. If he comes back and apologizes, and after the apology shows you that he is different, then your relationship can start back to zero. Not from where you left off, but at zero. You need to see progress and results. But if he's not going to own up to it, he's basically just going to act like it doesn't bother him, cut him out of your life. That is it. That is all. That is all for this episode. And we'll see you next Sunday. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. And what did you think of the first story? The first story, it's a funny one. Well, it's not really a funny one. The first story is kind of strange because I don't read these stories in advance, and what you guys are listening or watching is my first impression of the story and my direct advice I would give if I just heard the story for the first time. I don't plan out my advice, I just speak. So the first one, when I was reading it, I don't know, I really did feel like this energy of intense love, intense passion. It seemed innocent to me at the time, okay? That is why, but when I was editing it, something just, I don't know, it also seemed like it might have been a parasocial relationship, which is why there's like a big gap in the middle. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I'm still kind of confused about that one. Do you guys think it's genuine or is a parasocial relationship type of affair where it's just, there's a lot to explore there, and honestly I don't have the bandwidth for that at the moment. I feel like I need to do more research to really speak on those type of relationships. But yeah, so please let me know if you thought the first one was actually just a genuine story of affection or a parasocial relationship type thing. I don't know, I'm still confused about that one. But the second one I am not confused about. He's an absolute a-hole and she should speak her mind. Absolutely. What? This is insane. Like I said in the story, she should definitely speak her mind, but not be vulnerable. Like, speak it. It's basically the same advice. Write down every single thing he's done, the type of person he is. Write every single thing down. Call him out, but write it down as if it is an open letter. Don't try to be too vulnerable in it, because this type of person he's already shown he does not respect you. I don't think he's going to keep this letter to himself if you write it out. But he does need to know he's in the wrong, and he does need to know his behavior is completely unacceptable. So I would definitely tell you to write it out and expect nothing from it, because it seems as though this guy has to go through a lot of stuff to start changing, and maybe your letter could be the catalyst for him to start changing. You never know. But yeah, go for it and write it down. And again, if you want your story to be featured on our podcast, then please feel free to send us an email on our Gmail account, which is kitchentableadvice@gmail.com. And you might be featured on our next episode. And another thing, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, then please give us a review, preferably a 5-star review. And we'll see you next Sunday. Bye.